In this video, we are working on how to simplify square roots. We have a few examples here. I encourage you to pause the video throughout and try these on your own and then resume to see if you got them right. So when we're looking at square roots, what we're really wanting to know is what number times itself, it has to be the same number, will equal this number inside the square root. So if you have a perfect square inside the square root symbol, then this might be pretty simple to identify. For example, with our first problem here, the square root of 16, you might already know that 4 times 4 equals 16. So then you would know that this answer would just equal 4, whole number 4. So let's think about what that means. That means that we have 2 of the same number, but we write that as our answer as just a single one of those same numbers. So I want you to keep that in mind as we're going through to simplify these, because the rest of the problems on here are not perfect squares. We're going to simplify them the best that we can, pull out as many perfect squares as we can, but then anything that's left over is going to stay inside the radical. Let's take a look at number 2 to see what I'm talking about. So with problem 2, we've got the square root of 20. I'm just going to write 20 over here to the side, and what I want to do is use the factor tree method to find all of the prime factors of 20. So what that means is, what numbers can I multiply together to give me 20? And I want to get down to just the prime numbers, which, just as a reminder, is any whole number that can only be divided by 1 in itself evenly. So let's start off with 2 and 10, right? I know 2 times 10 gives me 20. Well, 2 is a prime number. 2 can only be divided by 1 and itself evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and circle 2 to just kind of like tell my brain to stop with that branch of the factor tree. However, 10 is not a prime number. We can continue going with that one. So I'm going to branch this one off as well. So for 10, we get 2 times 5, right? 2 times 5 gives us 10. And so again, 2 and 5, those are both prime numbers, so I'm going to stop each of those branches. So now I'm down to just my prime factors. So one way to think about this is that 20 can be described as 2 times 2 times 5, right? 2 times 2 times 5 gives us 20. All right, remember back to our first problem. We're looking for a pair of numbers. So the only number that I have a pair of are these 2's, right? If I'm looking at my factor tree, it's these 2's here. So that means that I can write my answer, my simplified answer, as 2 outside of the radical, but this 5 doesn't have another 5 to go with it. There's no pair of 5's, there's only a single 5. So that means that the 5 stays inside the radical, and this is my final simplified answer, 2 square roots of 5. Let's try another one with problem 3. With 3, we have the square root of 44. So again, I'm just going to start factoring that using my factor tree. You can use, the reason I like factor trees is you can use any factors to start off with. They don't have to start off with prime numbers. They can be any numbers that multiply to give you whatever you're trying to factor. So with 44, I know that that is 4 times 11. Okay, 11 is a prime number, so I'm going to go ahead and circle that one and stop there with that branch. However, 4, I can keep going. 4 is 2 times 2. Both of those are prime numbers, so I'm going to circle them. Some students like to circle, some students don't. I like to circle them because now that I'm here at the end and I have all of my prime numbers, I know that I'm just looking at these numbers in the circles. Sometimes it gets confusing with some of these other numbers that are along the way in all of the branches. So now that I am here and I have all of my prime factors, I know that I'm just looking at the 2, 2, and 11. I'm really not looking at this 4 at all for this portion of it. So let's see what I've got. I've got a pair of 2's. This 11 is just a single 11, so that one's going to stay by itself inside the radical. So this pair of 2's comes out as 1, 2 outside of the radical, and the 11 stays inside the radical. So notice that any pairs go outside, any singles stay inside. Okay? All right, let's take a look at 216, square root of 216. So let's go ahead and factor this, 216. Again, I can start with any factors. This is an even number, so I know 2 is going to go into this evenly, so that I'm going to start with that. 2 as one of my factors, so then now I just need to figure out what 2 times what gives me 216. Well, 2 can go into 2 one time, 2 can go into 1 0 times, 2 can go into 16 8 times. So 2 times 108 is my first set of factors. 2 is a prime factor, so I'm going to circle that one. 108, I can keep going. I know that that's 9 times 12. Okay, I can keep going with both of these numbers. So 9, I'm going to split up into 3 and 3. 3 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle both of those. And now 12, I can split up into 3 and 4. 3 is a prime number, but with 4, I can keep going into 2 and 2. So with this one, you can really see why I like to circle those prime numbers, because this 108, 9, 12, and 4, now I'm not looking at any of those anymore. I'm just focusing on those numbers that are circled, my prime factors. All right, so let's see what I have here. Let's see what pairs I have here. Well, I have a pair of 3s right here. I have a pair of 2s right here. Now this 2 and this 3, I don't have another 2 or another 3 to go along with those. So they're going to stay inside the radical. So let's see what this looks like when we write out our answer. So I've got that pair of 2s outside, that pair of 3s outside, and we're going to multiply those together. And then inside the radical, I have that single 2 and that single 3. All right, so now we just need to simplify by multiplying all of these together. So 2 times 3 gives us 6, and then in the square root, 2 times 3 gives us another 6. So we wind up with 6 square roots of 6. I'm going to go back and circle all of my answers here just so it's very clear which one is my simplified answer. These do tend to kind of branch out and take up a lot of space on the board. All right, so let's go down to number 5. I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut with number 5, and then I'm going to show you the regular way that we've been doing all of these problems. Okay. So the square root of 200, if I split this up into 2 times 100, right? 2 times 100 gives me 200. 2 is a prime number. 100 is not a prime number, but you might recognize that 100 is 10 times 10. Now, if you ever get to this point where you have something that factors, where you have 2 of the same factor, even if it's not prime, you can stop there, because this 10 and 10 can go outside of the radical as 10, and then we have this single 2 left over, and that stays inside the radical. Now, I didn't continue on with the 2 10s and split those up into their prime factors, because I know that they are going to give me the same exact factors. So if I have the same factors for one 10 and I have the same factors for the other 10, that's going to then recombine back together. Let me show you what I mean. If I factored this out, let's start with 200 again and do 2 and 100. So we're going to circle our 2 there. The 100 splits up into 10 and 10. Okay, so nothing new yet. And then this 10 we're going to split up into 2 times 5. And then this 10 we're going to split up into 2 times 5. Okay, both of those are prime, 2 and 5. All right, so now look at what happens. I have a set of 2s here, right? A pair of 2s, and then I have a pair of 5s here. And so what's going to happen? This pair of 2 is going to come outside of the radical. The pair of 5s is going to come outside of the radical. And then what do I have left inside? It's that single 2 again. Then when we combine this 2 times 5, we're still going to get 10 square roots of 2. So a little bit of a shortcut there. I do recommend breaking everything down into its prime factors, especially when you're first learning this skill, but that is a bit of a shortcut you can use as you get more proficient in this skill. All right, let's look at our last example. We do have a number outside of the radical, so I'm going to show you what to do with that number after we simplify the square root of 80. So let's do that first. Let's go ahead and use our factor tree to break up 80. So that is 8 and 10. And I'm going to break up 8 into 4 and 2. 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle that. 4 can get broken up into 2 and 2. Those are both prime numbers, so I'm going to circle each of those. Now I'm going to go back up to my 10. My 10 I can keep going into 2 and 5. Both of those are prime, so I'm going to circle each of those. All right, let's see what pairs I have. I have a pair of 2s down here. I have a pair of 2s here, and then a single 5. So if we were just simplifying just the square root of 80, that would give us the 2 from one pair, the 2 from the other pair, and then the square root of 5 inside the radical. However, we do need to include this 5 that is outside of the radical to begin with. So we're going to include that 5 outside of the radical with those 2's that we already pulled out outside of the radical. All right, so let's see what we have. We have 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 is 20, and then the square root of 5. So that is our simplified answer. And I keep forgetting to circle all of my answers. All right, this is part of my pre-algebra series. If you like it, please give me a like and subscribe. That really helps me to continue making these videos. I do have a whole series on pre-algebra skills. So if you're in pre-algebra, or if you're a teacher or a parent who has students in pre-algebra, take a look at that link in the description below, and I'll see you next time.